Some nights feel like static, not silent static. Like the universe is speaking, but all you hear is white noise, 1,000 voices behind a screen, and none of them know your name. You keep scrolling, looking for something that looks like a connection. But it all feels like mirrors, reflecting mirrors, until you forget what a real face looks like. We were raised on pixels, filtered affection, hearts in red, comments in cursive praise, attention like sugar it spikes, crashes, and leaves us emptier than before. We grew up with timelines, but no time to be. We learned how to pose before we learned how to feel. We lost the thread of ourselves. Instagram wasn't supposed to be a stage, but now everyone's performing. And the scariest thing, no one knows what it means to be real anymore. We are a generation fluent in aesthetics. Our pain has a filter. Our joy is cropped to fit the frame. We post our best 1% and scroll past 100 others doing the same man somehow. We feel like we're falling behind. Validation has become a transaction. Approval outsourced. Our worth is a currency determined by engagement. Double taps as dopamine. Virality as value. But inside, we're starving for something deeper. Not paying attention. Affection. Here's the truth. No one posts we're lonelier than we've ever been. But we're too afraid to say it. Because what if silence is louder than likes? We laugh together in comment sections, but cry alone on bathroom floors. We go viral in reels, but feel invisible in real life. We're always on, always curating, always connected, and somehow ever seen. You see, loneliness in our generation isn't empty rooms. It's video calls without eye contact, group chats that never ask, "Are you okay?" It's smiling emojis sent from numb fingers. It's people seeing your story, but never asking for your story. Instagram became a funhouse mirror. It bent our reflections into versions we could sell. More symmetrical, more liked, more palatable, but less human. And the more perfect we looked, the harder it became to ask for help. Because brokenness doesn't get shared. Insecurity doesn't trend. Sadness doesn't match the feed aesthetic. So we buried it. Deep, under filters. Under reels. Under captions like living my best life. When really, we're just trying to survive. This isn't just about social media. This is about worth. The kind that can't be measured by metrics. The kind you forget you had when the algorithm ignores you. We've been taught to outsource our confidence, to let strangers decide if we're beautiful, to let numbers dictate our mood, to build self-esteem on shaky ground. And when it collapses, we call it just a bad day. But really, it's erosion. Bit by bit, scroll by scroll, we're losing the ability to validate ourselves, to sit in our own presence and feel enough, even if no one's watching, even if no one reacts. There's a kind of ache that doesn't scream. It whispers, a low hum in the background of every scroll. A voice that asks, am I really worth anything if no one's watching? It's not about being seen. It's about being known. It's about someone seeing the version of you that us, not edited for public viewing and choosing to stay. But Instagram taught us to hide the parts that don't fit the brand, to crop out the crying, to filter the fatigue, to mute the mess. but couldn't remember the last time he said something real. And now, we don't even know who we are without the app. How do I love myself when I don't even know myself anymore? We've built kingdoms out of curation, but even the most beautiful castles are empty if no one really lives inside. So what now? Do we log off? Delete everything? Throw our phones in the ocean? No, because this isn't about escape. It's about returning to something real, to something raw, to something human. Maybe we start by saying the things we're scared to say, by breaking the silence we've mistaken for strength, by telling the truth even when it's not pretty. Maybe we reclaim our worth not as a story to be liked, but as a soul to be lived. We are not the sum of our posts, not the count of our likes, not the approval of a scrolling stranger. We are more. We have to be more. But first, we have to see each other. And to do that, we have to be brave enough to be seen. We've painted our loneliness in pixels. But now, let's meet the people behind the screen. Last time, we uncovered the quiet ache, the stillness masked by noise. We traced the outline of our loneliness in the glow of a screen. And we whispered the truth that somewhere along the way, in this race for likes and aesthetic perfection, we forgot what it felt like to just be. But now, it's time to meet the faces behind the silence. Because every scroll hides a story, and every story, a soul waiting to be known. Story 1. Mia. The girl who got ghosted by the world. Mia was the type who laughed with her whole face. The kind of girl who remembered everyone's birthday, who left voice notes instead of texts, who romanticized the ordinary. But one day, she stopped getting replies. Not because she did anything wrong, but because people got busy. They moved on. And somehow, she didn't. She messaged first, then again, then stopped. The silence felt louder than any argument. No closure. Just absence. On Instagram, they still liked her photos. Left little fire emojis under her selfies. But they never asked how she was, or where she'd gone, or why her eyes stopped shining. Ghosting doesn't always happen in romance. Sometimes it happens in friendships too. And the worst part, when you're still watching them live their lives online, but you're no longer invited to be part of it. Mia deleted the app for a while, but she kept checking. Because somewhere deep down, she hoped someone would notice she was gone. But no one did. We call it connection, but sometimes it's just proximity without presence. We are surrounded, but untouched. Visible, but unseen. And when silence stretches long enough, you start to wonder if we ever mattered at all. Story 2. Jalen. The performer who forgot how to feel. Jalen was a creator. A content machine. Skits, reels, comedy. He had 1 million followers and 1,000 DMs. But couldn't remember the last time he said something real. He stayed up until 3 a.m. editing, posting, reposting, chasing trends like they were oxygen. Because every post kept him visible. Visibility felt like safety. But slowly, his laughter stopped sounding like his own. His eyes, even with a sparkle filter, looked tired. One night, he turned off the camera mid-recording. Just sat there, in the quiet, face lit by the ring light, surrounded by silence. He whispered, "I don't even know who I am without this." But no one heard him, because no one sees the outtakes. Performance is the armor of the anxious. It protects us from rejection, but it also keeps us from real connection. We burn ourselves out trying to be everything for everyone online, and then wonder why we feel nothing inside. We are a generation taught to brand ourselves, to sell pieces of our personality. But branding isn't bonding, and sometimes the price of popularity is our own presence. Story 3. Aaliyah, the mirror that lied. Aaliyah used to love the mirror until it started lying. She scrolled through influencers' clear skin, perfect hips, glossy lips, and began to see herself. Not as she was, but as she wasn't. She downloaded apps that smoothed her skin, lifted her cheeks, shrunk her waist. She wouldn't post a photo without editing it first. Eventually, she wouldn't leave the house without editing herself mentally. Her self-worth became a collage cut and pasted from people who didn't even know her name. One night, she went to post a selfie and stopped, looked at the untouched version, and whispered, "I don't recognize her." So she didn't post it. But she also didn't sleep. Comparison isn't just the thief of joy, it's the killer of identity. When everyone online looks flawless, it's easy to forget that flawlessness isn't real, but the damage that's real. We stare into screens, hoping to see ourselves, but all we find are ghosts of who we think we should be. And every edit, every comparison, every silence pulls us further from our truth. These stories aren't rare. They're not anomalies. They are echoes, familiar aches hiding in your own chest. You felt it too. The numbness, the jealousy. The why don't I look like that? The why didn't they reply? The why does everyone else seem so okay? And I feel like this. But maybe, just maybe you're not broken. You're just human in a system designed to make you forget that. Maybe the solution isn't to quit Instagram. Maybe it's to question it, to hold our scrolling with tenderness, to remember that what's real isn't always visible, that the most beautiful things, love, empathy, softness, healing, don't come with filters or captions. Maybe it's to text the friend you haven't heard from, to post something real, even if it's raw, to pause before comparing, to remember that behind every perfect post is a purse, scared, searching, and soft, just like you. We are not alone in this ache. And maybe healing doesn't start with being found, but with realizing we were never truly lost. You are not your likes. You are not your silence. You are not your filter. You are real. You are enough. You are worthy, even when no one's watching.